my pleasure to take you through for about 30 minutes this wonderful opportunity that we found in Mirror Trading International. I'm not years in the business. The company isn't years old, just about 2 months in the business, and we've grown a team now to almost 600 people, thanks in no small part to Goran and Daryl and their very strong efforts at building their own team and scaling their own business. There's something here for everybody. And even if we don't get you interested in Mirror Trading International, honestly, if we can get your interest piqued in digital currency and even in Bitcoin in particular for your own private ends, then it will have been a success. So you're very welcome to the call. We'll kick off with an unofficial set of slides, then move into the official part of the presentation, and then some unofficial hypothesis at the end, if you like, some projections that we will, because even though we can't guarantee any results into the future, we will base on past historic audited results of the company. So the company's called Mirror Trading International. We'll tell you about Bitcoin first. If you haven't heard of it, you might have been on the moon, because everyone in the world, I think, knows about Bitcoin now, the first digital currency, a form of electronic or digital cash. There are many, many thousands. I think it's climbing now to almost 5,700 digital currencies out there. But you can track them all on coinmarketcap.com, where you will see Bitcoin always, or always has been anyway, at the top of the pile. Bitcoin was invented in 2009. And the first white paper released early in that year by its unknown inventor. To this day, he, she, or they have not identified themselves. And that person or persons is known as Satoshi Nakamoto. And as a kind of an homage to Satoshi Nakamoto, when you break Bitcoin down into 8 decimal places as you can, or 1/10 millionth of a Bitcoin, they are called Satoshis. So Bitcoin was the first decentralized currency. That means it's not controlled by any bank or nation state. It's a hedge against inflation, and it really does combat, if you treat it properly as a currency, it combats QE, or quantitative easing, where the governments and banks just print more money, thereby driving inflation. Well, this is not controlled by any bank or nation state, and it was timely in its introduction because it came just after the 2008 huge banking crash, not just in America, but around the world. Billions of dollars of Bitcoin trade happens every day. You can check it all out on coinmarketcap.com, where they'll give you the level of trade in every coin over the last 24 hours. But Bitcoin retains market dominance in that it has, in the mid to high 60s, the dominant market share. That means all of the other thousands and thousands of currencies combined can only reach about 1/3 market share. But when it comes to Bitcoin, it is really predominant. Loosely, it's based on gold. All the gold in the world that there is, of course, has not yet been found. But it's getting harder and harder to find. Same with Bitcoin. It's getting harder and harder to digitally mine it. In fact, it's never been as hard. And the rewards for the mining of Bitcoin are also recently halved. So is it profitable for the miners, the digital miners, to set up huge and energy-consuming computer banks to mine Bitcoin? Still marginally profitable. But if, as expected, Bitcoin goes seriously northwards in price, of course, that appeal will be there again. But we have seen, as I'll show you, most of the Bitcoin we're ever going to see available in our lifetime. But billions of dollars of trade happen every day. And it really is democratized wealth, because anyone can open a Bitcoin wallet for free and begin to collect or trade in it. And the indicators are positive, which we go into as well, for an increased demand for Bitcoin, which can only increase its value. It's been rising in value generally since its launch, but it's had its ATH, or all-time high, in 2017. When it traded briefly for about 30 seconds at over $20,000. But back in 2013, in May, 112 euros. In May 2014, 413 euros. And earlier this year, in mid-May 2020, almost at 9,000 euros. Trading today, I believe, between 9,200 and 9,300 US dollars. On the right and left of the blue columns, you'll see circulating supply and market cap. What do they mean? Well, back on the 16th of May, there was 18,379,712 Bitcoin available in circulating supply. Now, it's well known that a fairly large percentage of those are missing, are lost and gone forever, because people bought them, mined them, found them, got them when they were of very, very little value. And perhaps they ended up in landfill or being thrown into a recycling bin, or taken out on hard drives that people didn't know they had. And I actually have a friend who was given 660 Bitcoin for a birthday present to the whopping value of 50 euros, and lost the bit of paper which the codes were on. 660 Bitcoin. At almost $10,000 each, you can do the maths. Anyway, look at the market capitalization, 164.484 billion back in May. The circulating supply will be at a maximum of 21 million. So the finding is slowing down because the last coin won't be mined for 129 and a half years. So we've seen pretty much all the supply of Bitcoin we're going to see in our lifetimes. These guys are fairly savvy. Co-inventors, apparently, of Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg. They claim to have had the original idea, which he capitalized on. It's the subject of much conjecture, and you can check it out in the movie The Social Media. They are billionaires, Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. They own Gemini, the world's first regulated exchange for digital currencies, and they own reportedly approximately 1% of all Bitcoin. So two of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. And ICE is the Intercontinental Exchange. It's the largest trading platform in the world and hugely respected by all the major banks and financial institutions. ICE are the owners of the New York Stock Exchange. And they've just developed a platform called BACT, which is going to open the gateway for approximately 500 million investors currently not in the digital or crypto market. Don't be afraid of the terms crypto, cryptography, cryptocurrency. It's simply that the principles of cryptography and coding are used to protect your assets as you buy it, as you sell it, as you send it, as you receive it. This is Tiki Tiwari. He is the multi-millionaire Wall Street trader. He's made millions in the past 4 years from the crypto or digital market. He's adamant the biggest investment banks and institutions are going to pour trillions into this sector, bringing the market cap up by 300 to 400 times what it is now in the next 15 years. And all the big major institutions agree on this projection that it's going to explode in the fullness of time. Well, all except one. His name is Jamie Dimon. He's not an inconsequential figure. He's the CEO of the largest bank in the world, JP Morgan Chase. And in September 2017, he went on national TV and called Bitcoin a fraud. He said, don't touch it with a 40-foot barge pole. We certainly wouldn't go near it. His words, because of his influential position as the CEO of the largest bank in the world, caused a dip in the price of Bitcoin to the tune of 24%. But in the following days, not just Jamie's family, but Jamie's large bank of traders on his trading floors in his banks were reportedly found to be buying Bitcoin in bulk. So Jamie kind of became known as the guy who cried wolf. He called it a fraud, he got the price down and then bought in bulk, allegedly. But anyway, let's leave Jamie Dimon till the end of the presentation, shall we? We're now going to move into the official Mirror Trading International presentation. We're going to show you how you can acquire Bitcoin. We can give you all the help you need if you need help to acquire some. And we're going to show you the most powerful and passive Bitcoin growth program we believe exists on the planet today. We offer free onboarding advice. We'll show you how you can get started for a minimum of $100 minimum Bitcoin deposit. We'll show you how accessible and open to all it is, how compliant it is, how simple it is, how transparent it is, how secure it is, and how safe it is. In fact, we believe we've found the legitimate company worthy of putting our name and reputation out there for. And it's funny, we've had what some people would consider tremendous success over the last 8 weeks. As I said, thanks in no small part to Goran and to Daryl. But it's there for everybody. You can stay discreet and solo and single. Within MTI, there is no need to recruit anybody or bring anyone to the table to make money here, or make more Bitcoin here, to be more precise. But if you do choose the optional team building program, it can also be very, very lucrative. So a trading overview and the official slides of MTI. And first of all, of course, the information we share here is not to be construed as financial advice. We're members of MTI. We are not financial advisors by any way, shape, or form. We're merely sharing our personal experience to date of this opportunity and looking back further at historic audited results that the company have achieved. But there's no guarantee you'll experience any or the same results. So, Mirror Trading International, or MTI, founded and started in April 2019, so a young enough company. CEO is a young man called Johan Steinberg, a family man, a member of his local golf club. He's lived in the Western Cape of South Africa all his life, and that's where he registered the company. It's subject to the rigorous corporate laws as apply there. And MTI offers trading services. Once again, MTI is not a financial advisory company, and we're not giving financial advice. Its head office is in the beautiful Western Cape of South Africa in the area of Stellenbosch. The values and services espoused by MTI are simply offering you an opportunity to grow your Bitcoin portfolio. MTI does not get involved or have any access or influence to the market-shaping forces that define the daily or the hourly or the minute-by-minute price of Bitcoin. It's simply offering you an opportunity to grow your Bitcoin portfolio. Bitcoin goes up in value on the open market, so does the value of the Bitcoin in your MTI portfolio. And consequently, if it goes down, so does the value of the Bitcoin in your Bitcoin portfolio. But the real ethos of the company is to allow you to get a bigger store of this finite product, so that in the fullness of time, if and when Bitcoin goes seriously north in value, there's a double multiplier for your benefit. So the trading services are with Bitcoin as the base currency. Very important statement. We'll leave it there for now, but I will elaborate on that. MTI prides itself on its consistency. It has had an almost impeccable record as regards giving profits and generating profits in Bitcoin for its community. And it has always been 100% transparent in all of its operations. So why Bitcoin? As I said, it fluctuates, so does the value of the Bitcoin in your MTI account, but it's peer-to-peer. It's a peer-to-peer protocol. You don't need a middleman, a bank, or any sort of authentication process to have some Bitcoin and send it wherever you wish. It's faster, it's more efficient than a bank transfer, and in MTI, trades are conducted daily on your behalf, but you will receive full disclosure on the trades conducted daily. If you want to pour through them, there's page after page after page of trades. A lot of them loss-making trades, as we live in the real world, but predominantly, for the most part, the winning trades have been delivering more Bitcoin into the back office of all the MTI members, with the exception of a loss-making day, which happened actually this month, to show you. So MTI offers the opportunity to increase your Bitcoin daily. It's simply that. And the future, we believe, of Bitcoin is bright and guaranteed. And the trading software cost $11 million to perfect, and was 2 years running in operation for its owners when MTI came across it, and Johann Steinberg did a deal with the owners to say, what if I was to build a substantial store of Bitcoin on behalf of a community? Could we do a profit sharing deal? And that's exactly what happened. And Johann Steinberg would be the first to admit there was no way he had anything like $11 million to get involved in buying the software for the company. But the profit sharing deal has been very lucrative to everyone concerned, including us in the community. So the software trades foreign exchange from Monday to Friday. The account-based currency is Bitcoin, and daily profits are automatically added to your trading pool. Now, before you fire a question into the chat room saying you can't trade Bitcoin on the foreign exchange markets, that's not exactly what MTI does. It uses the value of the Bitcoin via a AAA rated international brokerage of 10 years standing to acquire liquidity to trade in the Forex market. We'll cover that again before the end of the presentation. So daily profits are automatically added to your trading pool. But in the real world, trading results, of course, vary every day. They can be big, they can be small, they can be positive, they can be negative. But MTI has a great proven track record in this area. There are certain elements that are missing in MTI which are really, really good. There are no joining fees. There are no administration fees. There's no monthly website upkeep fees. There is no subscription fees, no withdrawal fees. There is no expiration of your Bitcoin capital, no contracts, no big long programs of 90 or 120 days where you can't access your assets. That's not the case here. Full transparency and full access to your assets in Bitcoin at all times. Most importantly, profit in MTI is generated through trade only. It's a very, very important part of the company's compliance because it discharges its commissions to all the stakeholders, the community, the company itself, the leaders who are building the company and the team builders, and of course the traders, which are the engine behind the company. Discharges all of its duties and commissions 5 times a week to the community. So we really do get a good end of the stick. And every Saturday, the goodies are distributed to the leaders, the team builders, the company itself, and of course to the traders. But this is how the trading profits are shared. The members, 5 days a week, and it's a very important facet of the growth potential here, get 40% of the daily trading profits. MTI takes 10% with which to run its own software, its back office, its fantastic website, run its corporate governance team, run a small support staff, and keep everything taking along. And of course, to make a profit for its owner and shareholders. Traders get 25%, it used to be 30%, but the exponential growth of the company led Johann Steinberg to negotiate a smaller percentage for the traders. The amount of Bitcoin in the system has doubled. When I joined, it was just over 5,000 Bitcoin. It's now 10,400 Bitcoin on behalf of the MTI community. So the traders accepted a little less, and Johann Steinberg put that leadership bonus in place with the 5% he saved. He could have pocketed this enormous amount of Bitcoin on a daily and weekly basis, but no, he handed it back out to the community. And the binary commissions, so the binary commissions and the leadership bonus loosely together, 25% of the trading profit go towards scaling the company. And that's optional. If you want to get involved in it, you can scale your own level of participation in MTI. But once again, that's completely optional. But there you go, 100% transparency on how the trading profit are shared. And we get a daily report on that as well, concerning the company's success or possible loss in the market every day. So what makes MTI different? In synopsis, as I mentioned, no registration fees, no subscriptions, and no administration fees, no packages to purchase of, you know, there's a $500 package and there's a $1,000 package and a $5,000 package, none of that. Okay, it's whatever you can afford. And we do strongly advise people not to borrow to get into MTI, because that's not what we're about. We want to help, as Johann Steinberg says, the little man on the street, as well as those who can afford to put a considerable amount of Bitcoin into play here. So no packages or expiration of your Bitcoin capital, you have full access and full transparency. The proven track record we'll show you. You don't need any trading knowledge to become a member, so it's a passive income that's been offered by MTI. Your full Bitcoin capital goes into trade. That might seem like a small statement, but it's hugely, hugely important. If Johann Steinberg was to take, say, 10%, 20%, 30% from the Bitcoin coming into the company to pay the team, then red flags would surely be raised. But what Johann Steinberg does, it's insanely clever, is take nothing from the Bitcoin coming in, from yours, from mine, from anybody who's joining the company. Your full Bitcoin capital goes into trade. And there's a reserve of Bitcoin earned by the MTI 10% on which certain commissions are paid, but essentially all commissions are paid from trading profits. It's hugely clever, insanely compliant, and it really has been the engine of our growth. The daily compounding growth, three little words that means so much, as I will explain to you in a later slide. Okay, daily compounding growth. Withdrawals are quick and easy. There's been no issue. I effected a withdrawal during the week. Absolutely no problem. I know our own sponsor has done about a dozen withdrawals, and they can be of varying speeds from 6 hours to 12 hours, sometimes predominantly less than 24 hours. The company asked for 48, but it's always been ahead of that curve, in my experience, when withdrawals are being made. No fees on the withdrawals either, no waiting periods. The withdrawals are done manually, so they will be slightly slower over the weekends. In fact, I believe that the Saturdays withdrawals are now, you're asked to wait until Sunday. So when the office is staffed again, you'll feel you're getting your withdrawal a lot quicker. So withdraw Friday or Sunday, and you will have access to your funds quicker than you would on a Saturday. But having said that, it's pretty much 6 days a week access to your Bitcoin whenever you want, and there are no cancellation fees. Now, if you're basing your potential involvement in Bitcoin on this graph, you might think twice, because you'll see it's at its heyday. It's at its ATH, its all-time high. Back in 2017, as I said, it briefly traded for 3 seconds over $20,000, but has been generally worth less as each of the following 3 years went by. Now it's hovering between 9,000 and 10,000 US dollars. But as in 2016, when it was down at $2,000 and rose all the way to 20 in 12 months, people believe there's a strong bull run on the way again for Bitcoin. And this metric is the one that gives confidence in that. The yearly low price of Bitcoin hasn't for 5 years been lower on a following year than it's been the year before. And that's a strong market indicator that people are buying Bitcoin, learning more about it, storing it, not selling it, and building their reserve of it for the future. So the yearly low price has been climbing and climbing. Here's the current Bitcoin price track record. Of course, as daily trading results vary in the real world, the price of Bitcoin can be volatile. So please be aware of that if you're getting involved. You'll be buying in at today's price if you buy today, and that could be worth a little less tomorrow. It could be worth a lot more tomorrow, who knows? Okay, so the Bitcoin growth since April 2019 has been pretty remarkable at 54.5%, and even since March of this year at 29.5%. It's been a good place to have some of your fiat currency converted into this digital asset. More importantly, the MTI track record over the last 8 months, audited historical results, are 141% to every member who was in the company for the last 8 months. So the 40% members profit gave a combined total of 141.76%. Now we'll do some simple maths here. The average daily profit is just over a half of 1%. Let's call it a 0.5%. 5 days a week, the market's open Monday to Friday. That's 2.5% per week, roughly 10% per month. How then, you might be asking, can we achieve 141% in 8 months if we're only getting 10% a month? It should be 80%. No, it's because of the daily compounding growth. It's the most important fueling aspect of building your store of Bitcoin with MTI. Because your Monday opening balance, if added to, becomes a higher Monday closing balance. That becomes your Tuesday opening balance, and if added to, as has been the case in all but one day, you'll have a higher closing balance on Tuesday than you will have had on Tuesday morning. So that's a higher opening balance on Wednesday. And so you see the power of the daily compounding. In fact, in all but one day, which occurred this month, and nobody in MTI could say they had less Bitcoin in the evening than they had in the morning. But we'll show you those results as well. Daily compounding is a huge driver of growing your Bitcoin store in MTI. The current price track record, 2.5%, is the line running loosely through all of the results. You'll see it dip below 2% in April, the second week, and back up to 3% on the following week. And that's the current track record. And here's the loss-making day from the 7th of July, when the company lost minus 0.09%. As my friend Frank Stace in New Zealand correctly pointed out, I've been calling this almost a percent. He said, no, it's not. It's almost 1/10%. So thank you for that, Frank. And looking at the members, they took a slight reduction by 0.0373%. The binary pool took a bit of a reduction as well. The leaders bonus took a bit of a reduction. The traders took their first hit in over a year of successful trading for MTI, and MTI took a slight reduction backwards as well. Okay, so it was pointed out to me that in the previous week's trading, if you had one Bitcoin in the system, you would have made $157 extra worth of Bitcoin. And if you had one Bitcoin in the system on just this trading day alone, you would have had a setback or a reduction of $3.45. So that puts it into perspective how the profit-making days are predominantly outweighing the loss-making days. And here's the proof of it. This is the following day's result, when the company made 1.8% return, giving the members in their 40%, very transparently, 0.7% of a return. So when you look at what was retracted or deducted, the members lost 0.0373% on this day, and on the following day, it was added to by 0.7203%. So trading results vary on a daily basis. No fixed return is or can be guaranteed. So how do you get started? You get a link from your referrer. You can create for free your own MTI profile. And if your referrer is building a team, then it can be very advantageous to get involved for free and lock in your position in what could be a growing team underneath you. There's no compunction to fund the account, but you can kick the tires, as they say, and look around for a week or so before the account will be extinguished if it's not funded. You can buy your Bitcoin on various platforms. We'll help and assist you if you don't know how to do that, and you can fund your MTI trading account with a minimum of $100 worth of Bitcoin. The trading will start automatically, and your daily profits will be added and compound automatically too. So we also have, of course, the added bonus of the referral program. Now, this is completely optional. You do not have to refer people to the company and to the opportunity because you will share the same as every other member of the community. If you never bring anyone else to play in MTI, you will share in that 40%, just the same as any other member of the community. And that we are all equal. But this is an added lucrative business opportunity, another great way to generate more Bitcoin. And if you want to get involved in that, completely optional, you can contact the person that referred you to create your account. Tony Robbins is the great motivator. We've him the last word of the official presentation. Making good decisions is the ultimate power. Now, hypothetically, we're going to imagine that you bought a Bitcoin, or I bought a Bitcoin a year ago for $10,000 and submitted it and entrusted it to Johann Steinberg and to MTI. Now, while we're making these projections, of course, we don't know if Bitcoin is going to rise or fall in value. The indicators are good that it will rise, but we don't know. But we are going to base the examples here on the past audited 10 months results of MTI. The first one shows what happens if Bitcoin crashes badly and drops in value substantially in price. So based on the past 10 months trading results, you purchase your Bitcoin for 10,000. After a year, on the past trading results, you'd have had 3.13 Bitcoin in the system. And if Bitcoin dropped drastically to 4,000, that would be 3.13 by 4,000 or 12,523. So you're still up 25.23%. 24 months. So in the following 12 months, Bitcoin slips again to 2,000, all the way down to where it's not been for years. You would have had your 3.13 Bitcoin now would be 9.82 Bitcoin, and multiply that by 2,000, 19,640 for your 10,000 purchase of Bitcoin. So that's showing you how, with a drastic fall in the price of Bitcoin and the value of Bitcoin, you're still in a good place with MTI, we believe. Now, if Bitcoin rises in value, not drastically, but modestly, over the first year, your 3.13 will be multiplied by 12,000, giving it 7,560. And the second year, it rises modestly again, up to 14,000. Remember, it traded up at 20,000 briefly and back in 2017. So can it do this in 2 years? It's very, very possible. But based on the past trading results, your Bitcoin should have grown to 9.82 Bitcoin once again. Now you're multiplying this by 14,000. That's 137,480. And these are the examples if Bitcoin rises or if it falls in value, showing that MTI should be a pretty good place to entrust your Bitcoin. It's been the top performing investment asset over the past 10 years. And while we're not here to offer any sort of investment advice, you can see that those who did invest in Bitcoin historically 10 years ago had a return of 62,500%, eclipsing Apple, Amazon, Netflix. And the number 2 position there is coincidentally the second biggest digital currency in the world, Ethereum, offering 17,900% of a return. Let's look in synopsis at the 6 elements that we believe exist here only, and not in any other company or opportunity in the world. We really believe this is a truly unique and proven wealth generating opportunity because of these 6 points. Number 1, we're a company of tremendous integrity and absolute transparency. There's nothing hidden. Even communications from the CEO to various financial authorities are now being released as the corporate governance team strive for absolute compliance. It has an impeccable track record with the exception of the loss-making day. Some of us are delighted that a loss-making day came and are delighted in certain respects, I suppose, that Bitcoin is staying below $10,000. Everybody wants Bitcoin to rise when they have enough of it, but who of us have enough of it? We all want to use this program to gather more Bitcoin as it stays below $10,000. We have a company with an impeccable track record in that regard. The AAA rated international brokerage I've mentioned, it's the top rating you can get as an international brokerage. This brokerage handles $4.5 billion in managed assets, of which MTI are now touching there or thereabouts on $100 million. So we're a small part of that pie. The company successfully profits from the foreign exchange market. It's a $6 trillion a day industry, using trading software exclusively deployed and leased on a profit share basis for the benefit of the MTI community of members. We use only Bitcoin as a base currency. Now, I'd like to expand on that slightly. The Bitcoin's never, ever traded for any other commodity, precious metal, or fiat currency. And because it's never traded, it's leveraged with a liquidity provider to provide the cash, the liquidity, the liquid cash to trade on the markets. It's a peer-to-peer, faster and safer protocol than traditional bank transfers. It's fully secured on the brokerage side, part of their own AAA rating status. It's air-gapped, which means it cannot be hacked, held securely in a vault and off the internet, and it's insured from the broker's side. You'll avoid that insurance, of course, if you don't take the necessary precautions on your side, and the company offer you the chance not only to create strong passwords, but to have a 2-factor authentication, which we can show you how to operate and which will absolutely lock down your account for your access and your access only. So all of this defines MTI as a fully legitimate and compliant company. So it's open to members worldwide. There are no commissions paid from the Bitcoin entering the system. Think about that again and how insanely clever it is, because all bonuses are paid from trading profits. Once again, super compliance. And daily compounding after trade closes Monday to Friday. This daily compounding really fuels the Bitcoin growth in your account and allows members to grow their store of Bitcoin in a powerful way, in a passive way, and with longevity. And if you choose, and only if you choose, there is the strong but entirely optional referral program allowing for personal and for company scalability. It's all here. Take a screenshot of this if you wish, because I don't think you'll find it anywhere else in any other opportunity in the world. And that's Mirror Trading International. We hope to hit 100,000 members this week. This was last week's Mount Everest, reached of 90,000 members. And as I said, when we started with this company a short 2 months ago, there was about 5,000 Bitcoin in the pool. There's now 10,423 as of a couple of days ago. And you can see with transparency, even down to the 8th decimal point, or 1/10 millionth of a Bitcoin, the community funds in the pool are shown in everybody's back office. And remember Jamie Dimon, the CEO of the world's largest bank, JP Morgan Chase, Bitcoin is a fraud, don't touch it with a 40-foot barge pole. Well, he's since apologized for those comments. They dog him everywhere he goes on international and national interviews. And now his bank have made their position clear on digital currency. JP Morgan says Bitcoin's market structure is more resilient than currencies, than equities, than treasuries, and than gold. So it is based on gold, Bitcoin loosely, as I explained, and this is the biggest bank in the world saying it's time to go all in on digital currency or in cryptocurrency. This is Goran's website, self-built, and it's a really, really good resource. There's a presentation such as this on it, and there's interviews that I did with Pete Muller in Durban, South Africa, and with Johan Kruger, who's on the corporate governance team. If you're doing your due diligence, this will give you a lot more security and comfort around this opportunity. We've put forth a lot of information. It can be very confusing. If it's your first time, please do review the information again, or go back to Gordon's website and look at it again and again. There's a lot to take in. Certainly I was 2 or 3 weeks in the opportunity before I felt I could fully understand it and represent it by doing presentations. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And if we haven't piqued your interest in Mirror Trading International, that's fine too. But we wish you all the very best. Please do continue to explore and discover the world of digital currency, in particular Bitcoin, which we believe has a great future. And if you join us in Mirror Trading International, we can promise you fun and friendship and all the support you might need to develop your business. Thank you very much.